it's really good to hear. Your son, one of your sons, training in martial art, right?
He is. He's in Taekwondo, Christopher, and he will test for his black belt in January. He's a junior black belt now, and it's been a tremendous help for him. Great boost for his self-esteem. He's a leader in his class, and so because he's the highest belt in his class.
I'm just interesting. Why did you let him start in martial art at the beginning?
You know, in a way, it's kind of like how I got in gymnastics. We just saw an opportunity. They opened up a place down by our house and said, "Do you want to try?" And 2 of the boys said yes. 2 of them tried. Only 1 of them showed interest. That was Christopher. Stephen, my younger son, decided he wanted to do Little League baseball. That's fine. But Christopher chose to do Taekwondo and loves it, and really loves it.
And how did it change him? How did it help him?
It gave him a tremendous amount of self-confidence that I don't think he had before. And I think in the team sports, he just didn't really interact well with his teammates because he likes to be in his own world. He's a very bright child, but he's very content to do things on his own. And to go into an individual endeavor like this, he's been able to blossom. But at the same time, he can really work with these younger kids that he works with, and he's become a leader too.
Yes. What advice do you have for the people out there? I can't do that. What would you say?
Well, I mean, we have to know what certain limitations are. It's not right for me to say, oh, I can be anything I want. I will never be the greatest center in the history of the NBA. I'm not going to play basketball. I'm 5'5". It's not realistic, but there are things that I can do. And once I know an area that I can really pursue goals in, then it's important to set very, very high goals, very high goals. Even if you don't reach them, that's okay, because then the intermediate goals will be much easier to reach if the objective was something very high. My goal to be an Olympic champion made it much easier for me to become a collegiate champion in college because I had higher goals than that. And so that's why I think it's important, and not to be too disappointed if you don't actually attain that ultimate goal. Enjoy the process and savor the smaller victories that come.
What is your next goal?
Next goal. You know, it's interesting now. It's not so focused on one thing like it was when I was younger. When I was doing gymnastics, I was 23, 22, 20 years old. All I had to worry about was myself because I wasn't married. I didn't have children. But now I have a family. I have other responsibilities. So what's important now is to be balanced appropriately, to do well in things, but to not get so carried away that I lose balance. And so I have a responsibility with 5 children, with each and every child, with my wife and those relationships, as well as trying to be good at what I do professionally and within sports. So it's a lot of responsibility now, all spread out. The main thing is to be focused, to be able to know where to find the right balance.
What is your wife? Did she does that?
She was a gymnast at UCLA where we met in school, and so she was on the team, was a pretty good gymnast, and so we met there. I figured that's good for me. The only place I'd ever meet a girl was in the gym because that's where I lived, so I lucked out, and we met there, and we've been married almost 15 years now, and have 5 wonderful children, and life's very exciting. It's a challenge, but it's really an exciting challenge.
Wow, I can't believe how time just flying away from us. You know what? We have a letter from one of my viewers, John from Portland, Oregon, to write, I am 13 years old. I have been skating since I was 6. My coach tells me I am good enough to be an Olympic athlete someday. But whenever I get in competition, I blow it because I get so nervous. Do you have any advice for me? Also, sometimes I feel like I am missing out on all the fun that my friends are having. Is it worth it? That's the letter.
Wow. Well, you know, it's interesting. I think that for John, he has to learn, first of all, to ask himself, why is he doing the sport? Is it so he can go to the Olympics, or is it because he loves to skate? And if you love to skate, then I think that helps to take some of the pressure off. But also, there's nothing wrong with being nervous. I think being nervous means that you feel that what you're doing is important. And so we just have to learn to channel that energy and that fear and that nervousness into something productive. And if he can somehow, in practice, try to imagine that it's competition. Our motto when we competed was this, and we lived by it: practice as if it's competition, but compete as if it's practice. So when you're practicing and you're doing a routine, imagine the crowd's there cheering for you. And you've got to do it there in practice. And then it helps you to get more nervous in practice. And then when you're in the competition, say, oh, I'm just back at the skating rink, no one's watching me, I'm doing it on my own. And then helps you to calm you down, to balance out the emotions. That's very important. And I think the second question, though, is interesting because you have to ask if it's worth it. And I remember one time my coach, about a month or two before the Olympics, he said to me, hey, Pete, you know, if you got hurt 2 weeks before the Olympics, I hope you can look back and say it was all worth it. And I looked at my coach and said, yeah, it is. It's still worth it. I love it, just for its own sake. And that's important. And my coach did that. He tore his bicep 3 weeks before the Munich Olympic Games. And he was in his best condition ever. And he probably could have been in a position to maybe place even in some of the events. And he ended up competing at the Olympics with a torn bicep. It was very painful for him.
You know, John, I think there was a powerful answer that Mr. Peter is giving to you. But my answer is very close to what he had to say. Identified. I want you to know why you're skating. You are skating because your family wants you to skating. You're doing it because you like the skating. And also, ultimate goal is not so much getting there. You remember, it's a process itself. That journey is you have to learn about focus and discipline, and you really develop about confidence, face the fear, conquer, rise above. All those ingredients will help you to in your life. So I think this is very important you do that. Also, don't forget, not only you're nervous, other people are nervous too. Please remember that one. They may, it looks like a very calm, but their heart is beating just like you. So therefore, just maintain and practice just like what Mr. Peter was really recommended to you. My second, the question is that really worth it? I think that is your really personal choice. What that is mean is not, again, getting there, is really that it's worth it investing your time and your life. Some people go out and have a good time, but the end result, what they're gonna have. And I see there's so many people, you know, they have a good times going to party, then after school graduate, that's it. They don't even have a job, and because everything's so undisciplined. I believe it's when you have developed your discipline area. Believe me, I guarantee you, you're going to have a wonderful time with all those ingredients you have in your life. So I say it's very much worth it, something that you have to focus on. You know what I always say? The people who play in golf, they go around and walk around an hour, so they still have a good time, because between the golf ball and themselves, a very narrow focus. And they have a wonderful time. But then when some people, they go to shopping mall, they go crazy. They can't even take in 5 minutes. You know why? Because their mind is not focused. But on the other hand, the women's wives, they go because their mind is for shopping for their clothes, jewelry, whatever. So focused, they have a wonderful time. So what I'm saying is that as it's so healthy, we focus on something, what we do in a younger life. I think it started in the children. So because your life will become a richer and a powerful, yes, this is my life, he can do, she can do, why not me? You know what, John? Celebrate every living breath, because this is your life. I love you all. I can't wait to be with you next time. Mwah! Here are my kiss. Thank you.